Did I? I really feel like I did. I can't remember. I thought I did though. But I feel like I would have put you in like in the cool kid crowd. There's like we've got like a little, you know, the tree's got like little cliques and little kind of, you know, gatherings of decorations of like the cool kids. You know, you got the cool kids, and you got like the edgy guys who like donate weird amounts and stuff. I feel like you'd be in the cool kids bit. Or, you know, like, or, you know, at least like hanging around the edge of the cool kids, like Rifkin's bauble is. Although I actually can't see Rifkin's bauble either. I know Loco's up there is like a massive glittery pink one. Oh, is this you? Oh, you're right there. I actually found you. You're right in the middle of the tree. I'm going to bring my webcam up here just for a second to point you out. Literally. You're literally right here. Look, right in the center. I know this doesn't look like the center, but the tree goes down like a lot further. But like, you're right in the center. You actually are just, you know, right with the... This is like the cool kids section. This is like you just chilling below. Because, you know, you don't want all the attention. I don't know how I'm justifying this anymore. If I'm going crazy talking about fucking Christmas decorations, having groups of friends, I don't know. To the bottom right, it's going to be our pink Protoss play as we kick off our semi-finals of the WardiTV weekly season 3 finals. It is going to be Zest. And to the upper left is going to be our red Protoss player. Give it up if you're cheering on Splice Stats. How can you have 2 Twitch Primes? You pay Amazon twice a month for no reason other than you're just a massive Amazon fan. I have no idea why you would have 2 Twitch Primes. Just in case, though. Just in case. Yeah, I told you guys I hung ready on the tree. Yeah, I wasn't lying. I knew I remembered it. Yeah. He was just so obviously in plain sight that I didn't see him for a little while. Alright, well this should be a pretty awesome PvP, guys, as it kickstarts with a proxied Stargate to the right-hand side. So let's see what happens here, as we do see actually a Stargate from Zest as well, so this is already going to be a little bit interesting. Roddy in the chat wants some Phoenix play. Well, I think we're going to get that already. I mean, Stargate on Stargate, obviously intentions to make an Oracle here from Stats, and potentially from Zest too, but obviously it can so easily become Phoenix versus Phoenix in this sort of scenario, so... We'll see what happens, we'll see what is built initially. Sometimes if you open Stargate and you don't get a scout off, you will still end up actually playing full kind of Phoenix first anyways, just to be safe. As we do see the Stargate finishing to the side here, so... Let's do this. Oracle. On the way up, but there is the Phoenix from Zest. So first Phoenix is on the way out, as we're going to be seeing a couple of devs blocked off from getting towards the main base. Across the map though, 4 work is going down. The Adepts of Zest getting to be very effective there right away, as this Adept is maybe just not going to quite fall. It shades up to the right. And here comes the Oracle from Stats. Zest is still building Phoenix, and look at this, just putting himself the Phoenix to the side. I mean, as he scouted, he will have seen absolutely no tech, and also a missing pylon. There should be kind of an extra pylon in the game at this point for Stats, but obviously there isn't, because it is on the map, and so Zest has figured it out. The Oracle gets intercepted. What a start for Zest here in game number 1. As we do see these 2 Stalkers just poking their way through this pylon. I mean, they found the Stargate, so already the Phoenix here doing a good job, and, well, let's see how this follows up. Zest did have a dominating group stage performance. Dropped a map to Hellraiser, and that was it. He beat Rogue 2-0, he beat Invasion 2-0, and then he took down Impact already today, 2-1. Stats had a pretty good group himself. He took down Keen, then he took down Scott and Bly also. Didn't have too much trouble. Dropped a map to Keen, but that was all he dropped. Obviously in the round of 8, we just saw him take down Gumiho 2-1. Alright guys, you can vote for these players as well if you would like, as we do see Stats is actually getting very aggressive. He actually cancelled his Nexus, so let's hold the fort on the voting, because this is going to get aggressive right away here. A lot of Stalkers of Stats coming down in towards the bottom right in just a moment. Going to be pushing on in, as we do see the Phoenix going to come in from the left-hand side. Well, let's see what Zest can do. I mean, with the Phoenix, he can help himself out a lot here in terms of the defense. There's no blink or anything with these Stalkers, as we see the Phoenix starting to lift units up. He lifts the probe as well, so nothing can be built here. Shield batteries are on the way, but they're not ready yet. But the Phoenix count is really helping, because those Stalkers are really starting to get picked away at. And there's another Phoenix coming in, will help to pick those Stalkers off a little bit faster. And I mean, I think Zest is going to hold on to this, and as long as he survives, he's in a great spot because he's up in expansion. You can just see these Phoenix have enough energy to keep on lifting, and Stats will just type out GG. Zest shows us why the Phoenix play is the way to go, and he takes that game number 1. I mean, pretty much everything just went wrong there for pretty much everything just going wrong there in the game for Stats. Of course, I think. Don't think there was anything too crazy to say about that. Just very simply, Proxy Stargate does nothing, then he tries to be aggressive as well, and again, just nothing really came of anything there. So let's come into Ascension IA for game number 2. Now, guys, you can of course support the players here today and show them, show us who you're cheering on. Are you cheering Stats? Are you cheering on Zest? Well, let us know. You can hashtag Zest or hashtag Stats in the chat. The hashtags will tell us who you're cheering, so we'll see who the chat favorite is today. Who you're cheering on, who you think wins, whatever. It doesn't matter to us. We just want to hear who you're cheering for, who you want to show support to. And as we get this set up and ready to roll. In game number 2, Ascension to Aya in just a couple of moments. As we get this set up and rolling in just a moment. Alright. Stats has changed to blue, just as I set the colours up on the vote bot to be red and pink. God damn it, Stats. Never easy with you, is it? Just going to double check all of our casters are in here, which they are, which means we can jump into game number 2. This is speeding up a little bit now, but that's okay. Moving it along. Again, we are in for a long stream today anyways, guys. We're going to be casting both this, initially the WardiTV weekly season 3 finals, but later on as well, we're going to be casting that Corsair Cup end of year finals group A and B. You're going to be casting that alongside Base Trade TV, so we're going to be covering, I think, so basically 2 groups get played tonight, but instead of doing like each match game by game, 2 matches play at a time. So we play out group A, 2 matches at a time, then we play out group B, 2 matches at a time, and that is it. So we're going to be casting another 6 best of 3s this evening, and then I'm going to be casting the WSG Argentina qualifiers this evening as well. It's going to be a busy day. And we're going to be here every day this week up until Thursday. We're here on Thursday as well, so just to give you a quick rundown, you can check our event schedule with ! schedule in the chat. But Tuesday, I cast the WardiTV weekly, WardiTV Christmas Invitational qualifier number 1. Wednesday, we're going to be casting the Corsair Cup again. And Thursday, we're going to be casting the Christmas Invitational. On Friday, I fly out to the Netherlands to cast the Dutch StarCraft League. That takes place on Saturday in Alphen aan den Rijn. If you're from the Netherlands, you should come check it out. You should come let us know. You could come see the games live. Optimus will be there, Harston, Thermal, a bunch of other players too. That is on Saturday in Alphen aan den Rijn. I'm probably not going to stream on Sunday as I'll be travelling and casting WSG, but I will be back on Monday for even more action. So that's what's going on. And that's what's happening as we get ready to go into game number 2 of this best of 3. To the top left-hand side, it is our pink Protoss player. Give it up if you're cheering on Zest, who is currently winning a little bit of a pull here, 59 to 41 with the initial wave of votes. To the lower right-hand side, our blue Protoss player from Splice. Give it up, guys, if you're cheering on Stats. So the 2 gates apiece here. Obviously the standard way to set up in PvP is just allow you to get the units out you need and all the rest of it. As you do see probe just scouting around in the main base Stats, using that probe early. Zest did send a probe across as well, so both players doing the same here, as we just see. I do like it when players kind of use different skins against each other in mirror matchups. You can just see the 2 different probes. It's just kind of cool to see, you know. As we do see the probe of Zest pulling away from the bottom right hand side, up through the center, and back home. Yes, this is best of 5 today, guys, for the semi-finals and finals. Finals also best of 5, no best of 7. We just did it because, it's kind of tough. Like, it's actually one of the things that I can't decide what I prefer to do in terms of format, as we see Stargate on Stargate action again. Interesting builds once more. Again, really could lead into just Phoenix play here. But yeah, a lot of it really is what I struggle to think, because we could do best of 5 round of 8 matches and play 1 at a time, but then we'd have to do a second day of playoffs, in which case we'd just have 2 best of 5s and a best of 7, and That doesn't sound bad, it sounds awesome. But then the issue is the players are less likely to play because it's another day of playing. Right now, they play the group stage, they play the playoffs, it's all, it's 2 days, it's very justifiable to play. You start making it a bit longer, the players maybe don't want to play, accept invites, the lineup's maybe not as good. It's a tough one to get right. In this format, obviously, it's kind of like, you do 2 of the round of 8, it's a little bit shorter because it's just best of 3s, but then, we do best of 5 semis, but only best of 5 finals. And, more players will play because there's less matches, you don't have to commit to another day, but obviously, it could be cool to see a best of 7 finals as well, It's a tough one. It's a tough one to get right, and I've experimented with both styles. Games out of 3 so far for Zest. See if Stats is going to follow up in the same way. I mean, already Stats picks up on information here, though. You look at the main base and you see just one pylon at this stage of the game. There's a pylon somewhere else on the map. There is no reason for there not to be at this point, so I'm not sure why exactly. Well, I'm not sure if he knows exactly what it is, but he should get a pretty good idea. You can see already he's going to start scouting around a little bit, or maybe he's just hiding this probe. But there it is, another probe up here too. He does indeed find the Stargate on the way, so he knows about it. Zest will Chrono Boost out an Oracle, and immediately I think the Stalkers should probably just think about getting back into their base. I guess there'll be 2 more soon. Stats? Is he really going to go for the pilot? I mean, he's going to start building a Phoenix. Stats also built the Stargate here then, so that's going to be his way to defend this, but at the same time, these Adepts, well, they grabbed this probe. Stats has got a probe pulled off the line to block here as well. Obviously doesn't want those Adepts getting in, because that will just cause chaos. There's the Phoenix, but I mean, this is still going to be 5 or 6 worker kills for Zest. There's 4, there's 5. And I guess that includes the one on the low ground. So he actually only gets 4 from the Oracle. Okay. Obviously that Stargate being unpowered now means that Zest will not be able to make Phoenix in response to this. He will be the faster player to take the Nexus though. So he expands here. These Adepts though getting caught out a little bit, as they will keep on shading around to see what else they can do. A lot of votes coming into the chat once again. We see Zest, the 60-40 favorite so far, as now Stats though is lifting up those Adepts. I have to say, is going to be able to pick off. I feel like I like Stats' start. You know, he shut down the tech choice. Wow, look at this. Zest is just going to throw down a proxy, Dark Shrine, and Gateway. So Zest is going to get aggressive himself. But this time Stats has a Robo coming up a little bit sooner. Let's see what's going to happen. Stats who loves cats. Stats who doesn't have any tats. Stats who wears hats. They just don't have the same ring to it as Zest is best, you know. Zest is best versus Stats wearing hats. Like, no, it just doesn't work, does it? Hats out for Stats? Or wear hats for Stats? I don't know, it still doesn't work. Zest is best is just too good of a rhyme. God damn. Well, 2 DTs warp in, but the first observer's on the way, so again, the attempt here from Zest to be aggressive. And we'll see what it tries to do, but you'd imagine it's just probably not looking too pretty right now. As this shield battery about halfway done. Sentry blocking that DT right now. Running around a little bit, the DT does get the sentry kill. Nice little lift up on the Stalker. Zest warps in a Archon. I guess just going to try and make the most out of DTs that were just going to die anyways with the Observer here. I mean, he's not really going to do anything. So fully surrounded, can't move away. Shield battery healing. And Stats is just continuing to shut Zest down. I said it before, I liked Stats opening. And it only gets better as the DT play gets completely shut down. Zest is trying, you know, he's like, wow, this killed me so easily last game. Surely you're going to die as well. So just going to be seeing the Stalkers continue to push those Phoenix backs. Meanwhile, Stats finds this gateway. It's another pylon kill. I mean, it's just something else that puts Zest behind here. Well, Zest might be able to find himself a Stalker kill, but I mean, that really would be even not the craziest sort of thing, as we're going to be seeing. Actually, Stalker's starting to fight now with an Immortal coming in. He kills quite a few of them. And now he's going to be able to get rid of the Dark Shrine as well, just to stop further DTs coming on the map. Zest actually has a 5-worker lead, so that is something here. Stats losing one of his 3 Phoenix, can't really use those to harass so much anymore. Not that he ever really used them to harass just yet, but it was a possibility for him as a way to kill some workers and so on throughout the game. Those 2 Phoenix can still be used in fights. I mean, they can still lift up important units. You know, you take a fight and you lift up maybe a couple of Immortals, that's going to change everything. More Prism on the way from Stats, who might just look to get aggressive here. Adding on gateways, Blink on the way up, obviously already has some Immortals. Obviously feels as though he's had a lead in this game so far, which is very true. Actually, he hasn't had the income lead, interestingly enough. Zest has held that throughout, however, Stats has shut down so much army that you can see the army supply differential is really getting to be something quite amazing. Resources lost 2.6 to 800. And just to put that into perspective here, I mean, a Stalker, Phoenix, a Sentry, and 5 workers against an Archon, a DT, 2 Adepts, 2 Stalkers, the Oracle early on. The Stargate got killed off as well, remember, I need to remind you, and the Dark Shrine, and 2 Pylons, and a Gateway. So much killed here by Stats early. So far as PvP, looking pretty darn good. Blink going to be finishing here in a moment for Stats as we see a couple of workers going down to Phoenix, so I said maybe they can't harass, and they can't harass as well in lower numbers, but they can still find a little bit of something here. A few probes will keep Stats going. I mean, Zest is up on 3 bases, and that's why he's continuing to make workers here. I think Zest is just dead. I mean, he's making a second facility, he's making a Robo Bay, he's building +1. I mean, how on earth are you meant to be building all of this while already behind heavily on army supply, and then expect to hold off this attack? It's just not going to happen. He's down by, well, currently 4 warp gates, soon to be only 2 as these 2 finish warping in, but I mean, I think the reality is just already here. Phoenix will maybe grab one of the sentries already. He blinks to the high ground. Immortals will just lift over this force field wall. And well, this is going to be a very one-sided fight. 4 shield batteries are building, but they're not going to be ready. And Stats takes game number 3 as we're in a very fast-paced best of. Always love to see who you guys are supporting. And it's funny, the underdog in the chat, or the one less supported, is the one who's winning. Breaking the heart of the chat right now, or of at least 42, or at least 58% of you guys. God damn it. Don't know why I try and involve numbers in the cast. You know, I wonder if there should just be a thing where, you know, if I ever mention numbers, it should just auto-mute or something. Like, probably would be best. People would be like, whoa, why is it suddenly gone quiet? But that'd probably be better than like, wow, Wardy just doesn't understand numbers at all. Alright guys. To the bottom left-hand side, our red Protoss player from Splice. Give it up for Stats. Top right-hand side, our pink Protoss player is Zest. What's the sub count at? Asks Bob. 264. 264. Awesome stuff, as I said, pushing through. Aiming for that 300. We're not far off it. And do not forget, guys, you feel like these are good games today, you're enjoying them? Replay pack goes out today with all of the replays we've casted this month since the patch. So you'll get all these replays from Zest and Stats and all the others that you've been watching today. My coast is cheering on Stats in the chat, so is Katya VVS. Fathom2, Krupam. Also coming in with the Stats love. Hashtag Zest for ugly and proud. Some cheers coming in on either side. It's just going to be moving through. Canadian Bacon, I really don't know why you're so obsessed with the burrowed fungal thing and spreading stuff that's just completely false. So I'm just going to time you out again, which I'm going to do every single day you come back in and spam the same shit that no one wants to listen to. Hashtag Sast. Sast? I keep saying Zast. Hashtag Stats from DJOS4N. Jozan? Super high temperature and Stats as well. Also going to be Arcade Dallas. Nocho versus Hero coming up after this series, Roddy. Another best of 5. It's a pretty cool bracket we got going for ourselves. Nocho making into the money as well. Always great to see a foreign player coming through in what is often a Korean-dominated event, of course. Be interesting to see what he can do against Hero, whether he can bring some interesting bits and pieces into play, as we do see the Adepts just shade on through. Getting away from that Stalker, and a little bit of an opening here. We haven't talked much about the game, but between the players, it's kind of a little bit of a difference with 2 Adepts versus 2 Stalkers here. That Sentry probably could have been picked off if the Adepts committed, but I think Zest was already ready to cancel and probably just didn't realize it in time to think about actually cancelling for himself there. Stalkers continue to work, and they will pick off 1 Adept, and the other Adept shades away. So that's throwing down the Nexus. Stats has done as well. Stats just a little bit further ahead on that one right from the get-go. As the polls actually flip into Stats' favour. 51-49. Wow. You guys are back and forth, aren't you? You guys just glory supporters looking for the player who's winning. As you do see from Zest, a couple of Stalkers going to get up this ramp, and they are going to go for these sentries. I mean, they are going to get 2 of them, and there's Adept as well helping out with this. It's turned into quite a fight here. I was going to see the second Stalker of Stats coming through, but well, there's still a little bit of action going on here. Trades trades across the board, and we're going to be seeing this Adept even going to be able to grab a couple more workers before the Stalker gets rid of it, and that will be that. Not bad by Zest, a little bit of good damage done, and that's a hallucination of Stats to scout across the map. Dark Shrine from Zest is scouted, so Stats knows about that. He has a robo facility coming up, and this pylon over here will be used to warp in the next couple of moments. The Stalker does find the probe, nice little pick off at least from Stats. He sees the pylon, and while with an observer available, he should just be able to sit here and kill this pylon, because if DTs warp in, you'll see them right away. Zest isn't going to waste the resources, knows that his Dark Shrine is spotted. Doesn't cancel it because realistically the Dark Shrine can still be useful throughout the game. So he's just going to keep it here rather than cancelling, even if he isn't going to put used to it right from the get-go. I mean, even just one DT to kind of maybe poke around, you know, for example, like a counter-attack in now or something would have been worthwhile. You know, it doesn't have to be time for 2, 3, 4 DTs and running all of them in right away. You can take your time with them, but Zest decided not to. Start with 5 Stalkers pushing over to the top right side. A lot of sentries here from Zest. He's going to have the shield battery too. I think it's enough to hold on quite comfortably. He also has the earlier blink. With the blink up, obviously that makes his Stalkers a lot more powerful than the Stalkers of Stats. And that ability to move around, reposition, and to keep yourself so safe. And that really does add up to a big advantage. Hallucinate Phoenix here, moves forwards, then pulls back pretty swiftly as going to be seen. One sentry already under fire. Stalkers move forwards here. The shield battery is doing its job though, as we're going to be seeing a something getting picked off there. I mean, Stats still trying to push forwards, and finally he's getting some damage done, but I mean, he is losing Stalkers. Well, still at the front though. He's able to do a little bit of damage. He's able to pick off one of these probes, another sentry going down. In fact, he's been able to push these units away from the shield battery. Is kind of cool. Gets another sentry. Blink is done on either side. Stats blinks away. Zest will not chase. Small trades from both here. Robo producing an immortal at the moment. Forge and extra gateways coming down in the main base too. Look at Zest though, already in terms of the macro play, is already halfway along with his +1. And 4 more gates coming through here as that Robo facility. Just pumping out the Immortals. And so far just Blink Stalker Immortal. No sign of a Robo Bay. No sign of a Robo Bay, no sign of a no sign of any sort of tech beyond kind of Blink even, you know, not even like a charge upgrade coming through just yet. No sort of transition. Stats and Zest obviously both have intentions at third bases, but Zest is so much later that Stats is now starting to take an advantage in that regard. I mean, it's kind of interesting to split on this. I mean, +1 finish for Zest, that's one advantage, but then you know, you could counter that by just the speed of this third Nexus, and Stats probably taking a big eco advantage because of that over the next few minutes. That will probably help him out a lot. So, you know, both these players playing their own game right now, and I think it's what's so interesting about the PvP matchup and how it can kind of diverge and kind of evolve. It's very, very interesting. There's just so many. It's just very, very interesting because there's so many different ways to play it, and you can see now Temple Archives comes down from Stats and Charge, while Zest will play the Robo Bay and second Robo Facility. It's really cool to see 2 players of the same race just able to approach the same matchup in completely different ways. Units still gathering here from Stats. Still getting set up as more Stalkers and Immortals joining up from Zest. Using this skin as Immortals playing camouflage with the Stalkers. Prism from Stats. We'll see how aggressive he wants to be. I mean, already pushing forwards, maybe looking to attack with the +1 and the charge. Now, depending on where the Chrono Boosts are, +1 should just finish a little bit before the +2 of Zest, so you could maybe get a fight going with that. And we have a skirmish here already. What's the unit count's actually looking like? Well, 3 Immortals apiece. So the Zealots that are going to be added in here from Stats that could go a long way. He's also got that Temple Archives against none, so you'll be able to warp in High Templar. But given a few seconds here, Zest will have Disruptors, which obviously become very powerful in their own right. So, 2, again, very different ways of playing this. As we're going to be seeing the units from Stats positioning and trying to do something. But now he's down an upgrade. Now Disruptors are coming out. I feel as though he's just not been able to do this soon enough to really make it effective. As 4 High Templar warp in. That'll be 2 Archons. I think that Hallucinated Phoenix just saw the Disruptors as well, so I feel as though Zest is kind of being found out now. Setachi with the 2 Immortals in towards the main base. I like it. As you're going to see, blink away. First Disruptor shot doesn't do much. The Prism to the main would be really cool, actually. Drop the Immortals down, warp in a bunch of Zealots. It would force a huge reaction from Zest. And that could just give Stats the moment he needs to actually push in here and to get something done. He's actually for now just going to drop Immortals to the left side. Maybe just setting up a bit more of a flank than we expect this to be. As we're going to see those units actually going to come on in. They're going to come in from the back as we see the first Disruptor shot connects. Now Disruptor shot to the side picks up the damage on the Immortals. Zealots pulling away as well, but Disruptor's mostly on cooldown. That's the last Disruptor for a little while here. As Stats